नमो आय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Krishna. So welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic series. In the Narad Vyas Samvad, last few classes we have been discussing the instructions of Srila Narad Muni to his disciple Ved Vyas on Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you remember in yesterday's class, we mentioned how, one who is rasagraha, one who has tasted the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord, will never give up, and those impressions will carry him, and he'll attain perfection. And then he mentions idam hi vishwam bhagavan evetaro. So now the method of the worship of the Lord, knowledge about the Lord is being given so that the devotees can worship. And then you are having useful knowledge, you're amogadrik, and you can understand these pastimes. You're the portion of the Lord, and for the benefit of the world, kindly describe the glories of the Lord, you know. And then uh, men's austerity, study of Vedas, all that, is, ultimately yad uttama shloka gunanu varnanam. So this was also a very beautiful verse. Now, having completed his instructions, in the next section, Narad tells, his example of his own life to inspire Vyasdev to compile, the glories of Bhakti and Bhagwan. So, when the disciple is very intimate to the spiritual master and the spiritual master bestows his mercy on the disciple, so the spiritual master can reveal some confidential secrets about his own life. And when such a confidential discussion happens, then we can understand that the disciple has attained the mercy of the spiritual master. So here Narad is discussing the confidential secrets of his own transformation, how in his previous life he got transformed uh, by meeting the Bhakti Vedantas and how he attained pure devotion. Aham purvatita bhave bhavan vune दास्यस्तु कश्चन वेदवादिनां निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनं शुश्रूषणे Prishya Nirvivikshatam. In another kalp of Brahma in a previous life. Avam Purva Atita Bhave. So please remember, it's not Narad's previous life. It's Narad's previous life in the previous day of Brahma. Not this day of Brahma. Not his just previous birth. But we are speaking about the previous day of Brahma. You can imagine. I was born as a son of a maidservant. Kaschana dasyatu abhavam. Engaged by some person studying the Vedas. Vedavadina nirupita. Though a child, some Balakeva, I also engaged in serving them. Yoginam Shushu Sane. During the monsoon season, when they decided to stay in one place. Prav Vrisha Nirvivik Satam. So they decided to, the Chaturmas traditionally, the sadhus is to stay in one place and absorb themselves in bhajan. Prabhupada. The wonder of an atmosphere surcharged with devotional service to the Lord is briefly described herein by Narad Muni. He was the son of a most insignificant parentage. He was not properly educated. So you can see, to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, you have to be in the Varnashram and you have to have the knowledge. You have to come from a, you know, uh, at least the family of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas. So Narad Muni had no parentage, neither had any education. So all these three classes go to the Gurukul and take education in their respective fields. So Narad had no education. So see the glory of bhakti without any practice of varnashram. Even he was not within the fold of varnashram, but bhakti is independent of karma, jnana, or ashtanga, and he attained perfection. So that is why you describe the glories of bhakti and Bhagwan. So to inspire Vyas, Narad is narrating. Still, because his complete energy was engaged in the service of the Lord, he became an immortal stage. Such is a powerful action of devotional service. The living entities are the marginal energy of the Lord, and therefore they are meant to be properly utilized in the transcendental service of the Lord. When this is not done, one situation is called Maya. So here Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful definition of Maya. Maya means the living entity's energy has to be 100% utilized in the service of the Lord. So when it is used in his own service, or in other words, sense gratification, that is Maya. Therefore, the illusion of Maya is at once dissipated as soon as one's full energy is converted into in the service of the Lord instead of its sense enjoyment. So, bhakti and Maya, there is only one common thing. There is sense enjoyment. In bhakti, we give sense enjoyment to Krishna. In Maya, we give sense enjoyment to our own senses. That's it. That's only the difference. From the personal example of Sri Narad Muni in his previous birth, it is clear that the service of the Lord begins with the service of the Lord's bona fide servants. Mahat Seva. So we had seen that in the second or the third thematic series, Shushushu Shraddadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Swanmat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. So it begins with Mahat Seva. And before Mahat Seva, what is that stage? Before that, it is called, anyone knows? Anyone remembers? Raise your hands. What is that stage? What is that stage before Mahat Seva? Anyone knows? Bir Kush Prabhuji. What is that stage? Are you there, Bir Kush Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, what was the question? I missed it.
Ah, Mahat Seva is the beginning of devotional service. By serving great saints, devotion is impregnated in the heart. But before that Mahat Seva, there is another stage before that. What is that?
This could be Agyat Sukriti.
No, that is also Mahat Seva only within Agyan Sukriti. You don't have this. It is Satam Kripa. The sages bestow their
Yes.
causeless mercy. And that compassion which is in the heart, that compassion is coming from bhakti, that enters the heart of the candidate, and then because compassion has entered, now he serves the Vaishnavas, and then he hears,
Yes.
and then he
Yes.
begins. The Lord says that the service of his servants is greater than his personal service. Service to the devotee is more valuable than the service of the Lord. One should therefore choose a bona fide servant of the Lord constantly engaged in his service, accept such a servant as a spiritual master, and engage himself in his the spiritual master's service. So, who is a spiritual master who is constantly engaged in the Lord's service 24 hours? Such a spiritual master is a transparent medium by which to visualize the Lord who is beyond the conception of the material senses. So, the spiritual master is a via medium between us and the Lord. He's a transparent via medium because he has no false ego and he's pure at heart. He can see the Lord and he can give us the darshan. Jnaninas Tattva Darshina. By service of this bona fide spiritual master, the Lord consents to reveal himself in proportion to the service rendered. Utilization of the human energy in the service of the Lord is a progressive path of salvation. The whole cosmic creation becomes at once identical with the Lord as soon as service in relation with the Lord is rendered under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. The expert spiritual master knows the art of utilizing everything to glorify the Lord, and therefore, under his guidance, the whole world can be turned into a spiritual abode by the divine grace of the Lord's servant. So, the spiritual master knows the art of how to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti. There is no cause for pure bhakti other than the fortunate mercy of the devotees of the Lord. So, here Vishwanath Chakravarti brings. Now, please remember it is the cause for pure bhakti. That is Satam Kripa. Austerity and other processes are not the cause. To illustrate this, Narad recounts a previous birth in a previous kalpa, day of Brahma, in a previous birth. So there is a previous kalpa and there is a previous birth, Atita Bhave. I was born from a maid servant of some studiers of the Vedas. I was engaged, Niropita, in serving those persons having bhakti yoga and who desired to stay in one place during the rainy season. That they also practice bhakti was understood later from the following verse. Tattravaham Krishna Kata Pragayatam Anugrahena Shunvam Manohara Ta Shraddhayame Vishnuvata Priyashravasya Ang Mamadbhut Ruchi. By the mercy, Anugrahena, of the sages who were chanting Pragayatam about the attractive pastimes of Krishna. Manohara, daily, Anu. I heard about Krishna in that place. Tatra aham Krishna kata ashro na vam. With asakti, ta shraddhaya, hearing constantly, anupadam Vishnu vata, and then develop rati for Krishna. Mam abhavat priya shravasya ruchi. So this will come in the very few verses. So how to prove that they were also Bhakti Yogis? Because they were reciting Krishna Katha. Okay. Text 24. This is a very important verse. Te mai apetyakil chapale arbake dhante drita kridanake no vartini chakru kripam yadyapi tulya darshana shushusha mane manayo alpe bhashini. Though the sages saw everything equally, Yadape Mune Tulya Darshana, they showed mercy to me. Te Mai Kripam Chakru, by which I, though a boy, Apeta Akila Chapale Arbake, developed sense control, Dante, gave up childish play and all agitation, Adrita Kridanake, became obedient, Anuvartani, served attentively, Shushusha Mane, and spoke little, Alpabhashini. So here we can see that Narad had these qualities, Dhante, Adrika Kridanake, obedient, and he is very attentive and he spoke very less. So my question to you all is, uh, were these qualities in Narada in his previous life, which became the cause of the Bhaktivedanta's, bestowing his mercy? I hope you got the question. Who will answer? Yes or no? And if it is yes, why? If it is no, also why? All these qualities are mentioned. Na? Dante means to control the senses. Dante means not teeth. Dante is senses also is called as Dante. And Dhrit Kridanake, not engaged in playful sports. Obedient. and very attentive and Alpabhashini. So were these qualities in Narad the cause of the sages bestowing his their mercy upon him? I hope the question is clear. Who will answer? Uh, Let us see. Anyone else? Shrishti Gupta Mataji. I'm going step by step from the last in my list here in the Zoom account.
I think Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. I
Hmm.
think it is because of all these qualities that they showed mercy to him.
Okay.
That is what I feel. I may not be wrong.
Yeah. Any others have any thoughts? Navneet Mataji.
I don't think so. Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hmm.
I think because he served them and there was a kripa, he developed these qualities after that,
Oh,
after receiving the kripa.
yes. Excellent. That's the right answer. Very good. I'm very happy to hear this. Yes. Now, Prabhupada's commentary brings that out, but Vishwanath Chakra Thakur brings it more in detail. So we'll see that both now. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, all the Vedas are searching after me. Where does in the Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vejeshu sarver aham eva vedyo. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that in the Vedas, the subject matters are only three, namely to establish the relationship of the living entities with the personality of Godhead, perform the relative duties in devotional service, and thus achieve the ultimate goal back to Godhead. Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan. संबंध विधेय वेद प्रयोजन वेद यही तीन वस्तु कहे. As such, Vedantavadis, the followers of the Vedanta, indicate the pure devotees of the personality of Godhead. So they were, first of all, you have to understand they were pure devotees, like A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, ISKCON founder Acharya, Bhakti Vedanta. They were Bhakti Vedantas. Such Vedantis or the Bhakti Vedantas are impartial in distributing the transcendental knowledge of devotees. They are impartial. They cannot do partiality. Oh, he has good qualities, so let me bestow bestow. He has bad qualities, I'll not bestow. No, they are completely tulya darshana. To them, no one is enemy or friend. No one is educated or uneducated. No one is especially favorable and no one is unfavorable. The Bhakti Vedantas see that the people in general are wasting time in false sensuous things. Their business is to get the ignorant mass of people to re-establish a lost relationship with the personality of Godhead. By such endeavor, even the most forgotten soul is rose up to the sense of spiritual life, and thus being initiated by the Bhakti Vedantas, the people in general gradually progress to the path of transcendental realization. So please remember, just because you get initiated by the Bhakti Vedantas, you don't attain perfection. You gradually progress on this path. So the Vedantavadis initiated the boy even before he became self-controlled and was detached from childish sporting, etc. So here Prabhupada is making this point very, very clear. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur will make it still more clear. So here he is making it very, very clear. So it's only when they bestowed mercy, then, he developed these qualities. But before the initiation, he, the boy, became more and more advanced in discipline, which is very essential for one who wishes to make progress in the line. The system of Varnashram, which is the beginning of actual human life, some boys, small boys, after 5 years of age, are sent to become brahmachari at the Guru's ashram, where these things are systematically taught to boys, be they sons king or sons of ordinary citizens. The training was compulsory not only to create good citizens of the state, but also to prepare the boy's future life for spiritual realization. The irresponsible life of sense enjoyment was unknown to the children of the followers of Varnashram system. The boy was even injected with spiritual acumen before being placed by the father in the womb of the mother. This is through the Garbhadan Samskar. Both the father and mother were responsible for the boy's success in being liberated from the material bondage. That is the process of successful family planning. It is to beget children for complete perfection. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. So ultimately, when we get the mercy of the spiritual master, then we have to work on these qualities also. And that is also, by the mercy of the spiritual master only, we'll be able to do that. This is a very profound statement, and one has to reflect on this. Vishnu Chakatakur. Narada had controlled senses. I will take up the questions, just let me finish. Dante had given up childish play. Adrita Kridanake. Those sages saw equally good tempered and bad tempered, those who are praiseworthy and those who are to be criticized, those who are good conduct, those who have good conduct, and those who are sinful. Tulya Darshan. And thus they should not show mercy to one and reject and disgust another. However, they showed mercy to me. Though great devotees such as Bharat and Prahlad see equally, they also show some partiality concerning giving mercy. That is the Madhyamadhikari. Their first show of mercy did not depend on Narad's good qualities and show of respect. So here you can see again that first show of mercy. Further mercy, you need to develop these qualities. But first show of mercy was not dependent on Narad's good qualities. He developed the qualities by their mercy. Again, it becomes clear and evident from this statement. Then those qualities became the cause of further mercy. It must be explained that the cause of their mercy was not due to seeing qualities. If you say that if it is due to seeing qualities, then there is partiality. If one says that though they had equal vision, they showed mercy because he showed good qualities, then their equal vision would be contracted by seeing good and bad qualities. One should not explain in this way because then the first mercy would be prejudiced. There will be prejudice in showing the mercy. So like that, bhakti is ahetuki. It doesn't have any mercy. It is, doesn't have any cause. It is causeless. That's why it's called as causeless mercy. And this we have proved in our second thematic series or in the third thematic series. Yeah, in the third thematic series we have proved this. So I'll not go into it. There are two types of mercy, affected by seeing material qualities and not affected by seeing material qualities. The first type of mercy is explained as follows. All persons in the material world have mercy caused by qualities in the material world. If they see qualities, they show mercy. If the qualities are absent, they withdraw mercy. So this is material consideration. And if they see bad qualities, they show hatred. The second type of mercy is as follows. Those who are beyond the influence of the material world. So these are the sadhus. Show mercy without such causes, without dependence on seeing material qualities, since they see everything in the material world as the same. Apitulya darshana. Shukdev has said, Girayo mumuchastayam toyam kvachinna mumucha shivam yata jnanamrit kale jnanino dadate nava. During this season, Kale, the mountains sometimes released Girayo Kochit Mumuchu, they are pure water, Shivam Toyam, and sometimes did not Kochit Na Mumuchu. Just as experts in transcendental knowledge, Yatha Jnanina, sometimes give the nectar of transcendental knowledge and sometimes do not. Jnanamritam Dadate Nava. In this manner, sometimes these persons show mercy to some person. When hardness of the heart caused by gunas is destroyed and becomes soft by devotion to the Lord, mercy will appear in the heart. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryansha Samyabha Ruchibhischittamashanya Krid Asobhava Uchyate. So, Vishnu Chakra quotes that, actually the Bhava Bhakti is the definition of Bhava Bhakti. That part of Bhakti is called Bhava, Aso Bhava, when essence is Samvit and Ladani Shakti. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatva, which is one ray of the sun of Prema which will soon rise in the heart. Prema Suryansa Sameba, and which softens the heart. Chitta Marshanakrit, which desires to meet, serve, and exchange love with the Lord, OGB. So ultimately, that seed of Shraddha which is there in the heart will one day sprout in the form of bhava. Just like the father impregnates the husband impregnates the wife with the seed of the jiva, and over a period of time it will become an embryo and it will give birth to a child. Similarly, the seed of bhava is impregnated in the form of shraddha, kripa, mercy in the heart. And with the cultivation of the Shravanadi Jal, gradually, when one advances to these higher stages and attains bhava, then he has attained the full mercy of the spiritual master and the Lord. The first four stages of bhakti are understood here: mercy of the devotees, satam kripa; service to the devotees, mahat seva; shraddha, faith; and taking shelter of Guru Pad Ashray. So these are the four stages which are explained in this verse. So remember then again, these are the four stages which, while discussing Sut Goswami's verses, Shushushu Shraddha Dhanasya, Sut Goswami had referred to that. So now regarding this, if you have any questions, I would like to take. Our Bir Krish Prabhu had raised his hand. So you have questions? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhu ji. What's your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Bro, I have three questions, bro.
Oh my,
First,
just one at a time. Let us see.
yes, bro, one at a time. First question, bro. Can we say Narad ji, he is sadhana siddha devotee and not a nitya siddha?
In his previous life, he did sadhana, and by sadhana he attained perfection. And in the next day of Brahma, when he came, he became eternal associate, Nitya.
Right. And bro, second question with regard to this Vedanta Vadis, can we say can we relate with them like Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmani Gavastini that way?
Yeah, that verse is there, but definitely, the pure devotees. That is the verse in the 5th chapter for the Gyanis, it refers. Pure devotees are, Titikshva, Karunika, Suridasa,
Karunika, yes,
Ajata
yes.
Shantanu. So those qualities which Kapil Dev also speaks. So these are pure Bhakti Vedantas. So, so that verse
Understood,
is more apt.
understood. And bro, third question, this previous Prabhupada purport regarding Vardashram. So is this Prabhupada, is he just saying
Previous purport to Varnashram? There was nothing mention of Varnashram there.
there was little mention of Vardashram. I mean, children are sent to.
Sent to, yeah, Guru. Yes.
Yes,
Prabhupada
yes.
emphasizes that.
Yeah. So does it? I mean, Prabhupada is just showing importance of Vardashram, or he's recommending for recommending for going for Vardashram setup? How do we see this?
It's very straightforward there in the purport. There is no need to interpret that. You see, for it's a rare case that the Bhaktivedanta show this kind of mercy, and this is a very rare case. And generally, if this simple thing, you can see that in our Krishna conscious society, children who are born with not all these samskars, do they have, qualities by which they are, shant, peaceful, and they are taking up to devotion, or In many of the families, we see that, most of the children are opposed to devotional service. It's not a statement to be taken in this, but, so they don't have that sattvic impressions, the peacefulness, they are restless. But if they are coming from this kind of samskars right from Garbhadan, and they are, put in an environment where they study and go through the initiation of Upanayanam and then study, right from their childhood age, then you can expect Mahabhagavats uh, to in the future. So that's what Prabhupada is indicating very clearly in the purport. I hope
So
it's clear.
yes, Prabhu. So he's indicating that Varnashram should be set up. I- is that meaning?
Yeah, it's basically, many of places Prabhupada will emphasize that. Many places he emphasizes in his purport. Here in the first canto, in the third canto, many places he'll emphasize that.
Right.
How to do it and, at what levels we can implement, that's a different subject altogether. So that needs, we have to see the situation where we are, and uh, so we'll have to see that. But definitely, this is in the long run. If yeah, it's a general observation that outside people who are not into practice of bhakti, uh, they are implementing these samskars, and you see their children, they are not devotees, but they have, all the qualities of sattva at least. Of sattva, I'm saying, like good manners, peaceful, uh, uh, and very nice to talk, So that becomes like a fertile ground for them to hear. But if you having devotees who are not doing these samskars and their children are born, although they might have Kantimala, Tilak, they might be chanting Hare Krishna, but they might not exhibit these qualities even in sattva. Because ultimately, pure devotion, which is bestowed in the heart, and with that practice of that pure devotion, these transcendental qualities will manifest. So that is the highest goal. But Varnashram becomes a perfect vehicle by which we can go to pure devotion. So that's why that is important for us also to understand it. Is it okay?
Right. Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Anyone else has? Okay, so we saw here Krishna Chakra Thakur, he mentioned Satam Kripa, mercy of the devotees, Mahat Seva, there is service to the devotees, Shraddha, one develops faith, and then there is taking shelter of Guru. Now, please very carefully note this. This faith is, the beginning stages of faith. Hmm? This is the beginning stages of faith. So again, it will come up in the next verse. We will see that time and it will become more clear. उच्छिष्टलेपाननुमोदितो द्विजाय सकृत्स्म भुञ्जे तद् अपास्तिकिल्बिष एवं प्रवृत्तस्य विशुद्धचेतस् तद्धर्म एवात्मरुचि प्रजायते. One time only I happened to eat Sakrit Sma Bhunje, their food remnants, Uchishtalepan, with their permission. Dvija Anumodita. All obstacles to bhakti disappeared by that. Tad apasta kilbisha. All, please remember. And we have been every day taking prasad, and still not making any much progress. I've been taking since last 23 years. Not really much progress. All obstacles to bhakti, a complete anarth nivritti happened. Huh? Having developed an inclination for bhakti, now you see, please mark this. Having developed an inclination for bhakti, then what is this then? One develops faith, So what is this? Let's try to understand this. Taste for devotional process inevitably developed in my mind. Tad dharma eva atma ruchi prajayate. Let's see this purport and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's purport, and then I will take up the questions. Pure devotion is as much infectious in a good sense as infectious disease. So pure devotion, please remember here. Now we had the infectious disease of COVID, how it was infecting everyone, and that is in a bad sense, but pure devotion is like that. A pure devotee is cleared from all kinds of sins. Prabhupada is giving, how, these Bhakti Vedantas were very pure and they were able to bestow that pure Shraddha in the heart of Narad Muni in his previous life. The personality of Godhead is the purest entity, and unless one is equally pure from the infection of material qualities, one cannot become a pure devotee of the Lord. So one should be Sarup Siddha and Gunatita. One should be on the completely transcendental platform. The Bhakti Vedantas, as above mentioned, were pure devotees, and the boy became infected with their qualities by purity, by their association, and by eating once the remnants of the food taken by them. Only once, please remember. So this is the power of those who are at this level of pure devotion. This is the power of the Bhakti Vedantas. So the Bhakti Vedantas were pure devotees. So there are different levels of pure devotees, and time doesn't permit us. It's a very vast subject in itself, but we have to understand that they were eternally liberated souls, in pure devotion. Please remember that also. Such remnants may be taken even without permission of the pure devotees. There are sometimes pseudo devotees, and one should be very much cautious about them. Prabhupada is warning here. There are many things which hinder one from entering devotional service, but by the association of pure devotees, all these obstacles are removed. The neophyte devotee becomes practically enriched with the transcendental qualities of the pure devotee, which means attraction for the personality of God, its now name, fame, quality, pastimes. So the pure devotee has 100% attraction for the Lord, and just coming in touch, you become attracted to the Lord also. So this is a kind of a rati, and this rati in the form of pure shraddha is bestowed. Infection of the qualities of the pure devotee means to imbibe the taste of pure devotion always in the transcendental activities of the personality. So there is a kind of ruchi in the beginning stages. This transcendental taste at once makes all material things distasteful. So this is also a very, very advanced stage we can understand. Please understand, this is not the stage of ruchi, this is the beginning stage of bhakti. Salpuruchireva syat bhakti tattva avabodha. Dika, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu mentions. Once you get that taste, you're so intoxicated with the spiritual nectar that, you're completely disgusted with material life, material world. And we have been practicing bhakti for so many years, still our attraction for the material world is so strong. At least I'm speaking about myself. So this is a very, very advanced stage, and it's a very, very beginning stage of pure devotion. Therefore, a pure devotee is not at all attracted by material activities. After the elimination of all sins, obstacles to the path of devotional service, one can become attracted, one can have steadiness, one can have perfect taste, one can have transcendental emotions, and at last one can be situated in the plane of loving service to the Lord. So only when comes to this stage of ruchi, or it is the beginning stage of shraddha, it is this stage of shraddha is called as pure shraddha, where the bhakti begins. And you have no attraction. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati, sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. So the bhakti begins, and then all the obstacles are removed. Anarth Nivritti completely happens. One attains Nishta, one attains, Ruchi. Now here there is taste. Prabhupada is here. Here he had mentioned is what taste, just taste, but here he says it is perfect taste. This is Ruchi stage. And then Bhava is transcendental emotions. And then Prema. All these stages developed by the association of pure devotees, and that is the purport of this stanza. Prabhupada's purport. Let's go into Vishwanath Thakur's purport, and then it will become. After getting permission from them to do so, I ate one time some rice stuck to one of their dishes. By that, all obstacles to bhakti were destroyed. Tad apasta kilbisha. Having taken their food, I developed without effort bhakti in the form of hearing, chanting, and remembering the Lord continually. Now he developed what? That initial stage is bhakti where you hear. When you come in association of devotees, you start serving. That is the beginning stage of Shraddha. But here, at this level of bhakti, you continuously hear, chant, and remember. Having developed the tendency for bhakti after eating the food, devotee's food, evam pravrittasa, which applies to anyone else as well, I inevitably developed a taste, ruchi prajayate, for hearing and chanting tad dharme in the mind. Now here there is the taste for hearing and chanting. So this is a different level. Now, please try to note this point that, we are hearing and chanting, but how many of us have really taste for hearing and chanting? I don't know about all of you, but I'm speaking about myself. How many of us have really that taste? Like we have the taste for gulab jamun and we want to go repeatedly and to see that, it doesn't get over and, I go and grab more. So how many of us have that kind of enthusiasm in the heart that, I'm not going to be late. Let me go run to this retreat to attend this seminar, run to this Krishna Katha, run to that Krishna Katha. You know, mind is only attracted, taste for hearing and chanting. By this verse, 5 stages of bhakti should be understood. Desire for worship, spruha, bhakti. Now here you can see this bhakti is the beginning of bhakti, Shuddha bhakti. And anarth nivritti, nishta and rushi. I hope this is clear, and I will again show it to you here. I'm just yeah, I'll have to take this, and in the next this is from the first canto, second chapters. Yeah, okay. I'll have to 1 minute. Give me a second. I'll just put this. These 5 stages and the 4 stages mentioned in the previous verse commentary are listed first in the commentary to 1 to 22. That's what he says. Yeah, so I will edit. Yeah, so here I have to also put Bhajaneshu Spruha. Bhajaneshu Spruha is there, but there is, Bhajaneshu Spruha. And then there are next stages explained in the next verse, but I'll have to add them here. I don't know how to add this here. Oh, let me paste and see whether it comes. No. Well, okay. Let me take this on top and separately paste this. Yeah, Bhajaneshu Spruha. I'll later on adjust it, but I hope it is clear. There is Bhajaneshu Spruha. There is all the Abhadras also get destroyed. Bhakti is there, and again the Abhadras get destroyed, and one attains Nishta. So here Nishta and Ruchi is also there. Sorry, Ruchi is also there. Okay, Ruchi is also there, which will come in the next verse. Ruchi is also there. Sorry. Okay, so any questions on this? If you have not understood, this is very important for us to understand. Any questions, any clarifications on this verse, which we discussed? Uchishta. I can take another verse also. Any questions if you have? Veer Krishna Prabhuji, yes. Navneet Mataji, yeah. First, let me take Veer before. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, this bhajanesu spriha and initial taste for chanting, is it both are same or how it is?
See, initially, when we take up to chanting, we do it out of rules and regulations, and there is some taste we get also, and in the beginning when we are introduced. But bhajaneshu spruha means, yeah, that initial desire to do bhajan. But when bhakti, we get bhakti, na? Bhakti means now pure shraddha. Then that bhajan is on a different platform. By that bhajan, all the anarth nivritti happens. And then we attain nishtha. So that's how you have to understand it. Is it clear? Yeah, Veer Krishna Prabhuji, is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Yeah. Navneet Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. There are two Anartha Nivritris. I'm a little confused.
Uh, for now, if you have not studied this previous thematic verse, thematic series where we discussed all this, for now you can understand that how many years you have been practicing Krishna consciousness?
About an year, Prabhuji.
Oh, about a year. Very good, very good. And um, when you came in touch with Krishna consciousness, you started giving up some certain habits which are not favorable to the practice, like giving up tea, coffee. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So there is a kind of, in the beginning stages of our development of faith, we give up certain bad habits and we follow the four regulative principles. So that Anarth Nivritti is one level. But with the practice of Shuddha Bhakti, there is another level of Anarth Nivritti which should happen. That is the Sukrututta Anarthas, Dushkrututta Anarthas, Apradutta Anarthas, and Bhakti Utta Anarthas. So that is a different level of Anarth Nivritti which happens when we take up to the practice of Shuddha Bhakti. Okay? Is that clear?
Prabhuji, can if I need to read anything, where can I find this?
Regarding what?
Regarding these stages of bhakti, is it Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu?
Yeah, these other stages of bhakti, as I mentioned in the thematic series too, we have discussed quite in detail. You can go through them and then,
Okay.
you know, then further as you study, then slowly your understanding will evolve over a period of time.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let us take this. Let me see. Slides are there. Yeah, this is quite small, so let us finish this. Now, this is a uh, very beautiful verse. Tatravaham Krishna Kata Bragayatam Anugrahena Shrunuvam Manohara Ta Shraddhayame Enupadam Vishnuvata Priyashavasyang Mamadbhut Ruchi. By the mercy, Anugrahena of the sages who were chanting Bragayatam about the attractive pastimes of Krishna, Manohara, daily, Anu. I heard about Krishna in that place. Tatra aham Krishna kata ashunvam. With asakti, ta shraddhaya. Here it is no, you can understand that shraddha here means ashakti. So shraddha is beginning faith. And there is something called as, drid shraddha or neshtiki shraddha. It is neshtiki shraddha. Firm faith where you completely sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vaja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashami ma sucha. So that shraddha is entry door for practice of pure devotion. And then there is the highest level of shraddha, meaning where you give your heart to Krishna completely. Shra means to, the heart, and da means to give. So at the stage of asakti, this happens. So here Shraddha means asakti. Hearing constantly Anupadam Vishnu Vata, I then develop Rati for Krishna. Ruchi is Rati. Note, Vishwanath favors the reading Rati and quotes it in that way in Madhuri Kadamni 8:12 and elsewhere. So, Vishwanath quotes it as Rati. Prabhupada. Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead is attractive not only in his personal features but also in his transcendental activities. It is so because the absolute is absolute in his name, name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia. The Lord descends on this material world out of his causeless mercy and displays his various transcendental pastimes as a human being so that human beings attracted towards him become able to go back to Godhead. Men are naturally apt to hear stories and narrations of various personalities performing mundane activities without knowing that by such association one simply wastes valuable time and becomes addicted to the three qualities of material nature, mundane nature. Instead of wasting time, one can get spiritual success by turning his attention to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. By hearing the narrations of the pastimes of the Lord, one contacts directly the personality of Godhead, and as explained before, by hearing about the personality of Godhead from within, all accumulated sins of mundane creature are cleared. Shunvatam Sukata Shunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Radhantasto hi abhadrani vidanoti surit satam. This verse Prabhupada is saying. Thus being cleared of all sin, the hearer gradually becomes liberated from mundane association and becomes attracted to the features of the Lord. Narad Muni has just explained this by his personal experience. The whole idea is that simply by hearing about the Lord's pastimes, one can become one of the associates of the Lord. Narad Muni has eternal life, unlimited knowledge, and unfathomed bliss, and he can travel all over the material and spiritual worlds without restriction. Just imagine the freedom what Narad Muni has. One can attain to the highest perfection of life simply by attentive hearing of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from the right sources, as Sri Narad heard from the pure devotees, Bhaktivedantas, in his previous life. The process of hearing in the association of devotees is especially recommended in the age of Kali. Vishwanath Chakatar. Shraddha here indicates the 10th stage asakti. So I mentioned that to you. At every moment or at hearing every word, I developed rati bhava for Krishna, whose qualities are pleasing to hear. Priya Shavasi. Ruchi should then mean rati. The 11th stage, since the stage of ruchi has already been mentioned in the previous verse. So that's it. That's what uh, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur mentioned in his purport. Okay, so time is up. So I will stop here. We'll continue this discussion. This is a very, very beautiful inspiration for us how Narad Muni went through these stages in his previous life and attained perfection. So it's a role model for us to, you know, uh, one should repeatedly, discuss these stages of bhakti given by Sut Goswami, and more than that, read the example of Narad Muni and get a deeper understanding. If sometimes you are, you know, you become morose or you feel disgusted in practicing spiritual life, read this narration of the pastime of previous life of Narad Muni, and it will get you back to your goal. If Narad Muni could do it in his previous life as a maid servant, I can do it. And one should repeatedly read this discussion and get inspiration, a newer inspiration to practice bhakti. Okay, any questions anyone has? Any questions, any clarification? Yes, Veer Krish Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, this Shraddha is, I mean, full faith is the entry door for pure devotion.
Uh,
So this Shraddha is Prabhu, at every stage it is there. Na? So, I mean, at every stage it gets blossom, or how it is when we say Shraddha. Now this Shraddha is referring to us.
Basically, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu mentions that, Kanishta Madhyama Uttama Shraddha Anusari. So there is a development of faith. And when it comes to Purna Shraddha, that is Sarva Dharman Paritejya. You have complete faith means you know Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan. You know, the Dashamula Tattva. You know all these truths, like, when you have doubts of the philosophy, that means you lack faith. So when all the doubts are dispelled by studying the Bhagavad Gita, your faith is 100%. And then you jump, because you have complete faith in Krishna, And then from there onwards, these stages apply. That's how it is. Is it clear?
You're right. So at every stage, this Shraddha gets, it gets nourishment or?
No. Shraddha becomes the entry door to pure devotion.
Right.
Shraddha is not a stage.
Shraddha is foundation and
Yeah.
on this
Shraddha
everything
is the
is
entry door for bhakti. It is not a anga of bhakti. Okay.
right.
Okay. It's not a stage. Yeah. Any other questions anyone else has? Okay. So thank you very, very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हरे कृष्णा।